book what I'm about. The book's done around for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest teaching being professional in today is not a rigid rules. It's about emotional intelligence, perception, consistency, and how your behavior either strengthens or weakens your influence. Well, our guest for today, no other than Miss Adrienne Barker. Welcome, Miss Adrienne
Good
on Book
morning.
101. Yes, good morning indeed. So, can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
I have so many hats. It's just crazy, Daniel. So one hat is that I've been in the branding and marketing industry for almost 40 years. I know I look young, but there's a lot of wisdom in this head. So with that, I left I left a family business and started my business, Professional Global Etiquette, with the goal of teaching Western etiquette over in Asia, which I did. I was able to get over to Nanjing and live there for a summer. But I love the idea of professional global etiquette and how we have to maintain, as you said, emotional intelligence and make sure that we're doing things that make people feel comfortable. And number one is that when you understand etiquette, you will feel comfortable yourself. So my business is Professional Global Etiquette. Under that umbrella, just recently, I developed the Manner Shift course. And in all honesty, it's because my daughter turned 19 and she started looking for work. And I realized, oh no, she's going to be dumped into the workforce without really any knowledge of how to deal with good managers and poor managers, great leaders and not great leaders. And I wanted to give her a way that she can kind of understand what takes place in the workplace. So I created Manner Shift. I have a podcast. I have a YouTube channel. I have a ebook. I have a course and I have a paperback book. And I put that all together. And the whole idea of it is helping our young professionals.
And thank you so much for doing that, Miss Adrienne. Thank you for building the legacy today. And we salute you for doing that. So today let's talk about why being professional is no longer enough and what actually builds trust. Today's focus on manner shift, modern leadership, and how professionalism has evolved. So if the old model of professionalism is about polished predictability, what is the potential downside of hiring someone who is perfectly polished but emotionally distant?
Oh, let me just get on my phone and okay. Oh, hello. Hello, how are you? They don't like the use of a cell phone. Number
Hmm.
one, are you telling your young professionals that going off to work, are you explaining that they should not have their cell phone with them? Are you explaining to them that when their leader texts them not to just write K?
Mm.
So it's all about the communication when you think about it, right? How do you communicate efficiently and effectively and understanding what your leaders need and taking, not being the same as the fun student you were in high school. So it comes down to texting information. It comes down to sitting in a meeting. Are you speaking up at every meeting? What does it look like to speak up? If you've been asked for feedback, what does that look like for you? So my book, actually, Daniel, I created scenarios and then there's like four answers. You pick like what you think is the best scenario, and then you get a tip around it. Because at the end of the day, that's what they're really going to be looking at. We could teach them everything, but let's give them real workplace scenarios. I went through it with my daughter. She absolutely loved it. Do you interrupt when someone's talking? Do you switch the conversation? Do you tell your leader that all your troubles at home? Do you share secrets? I mean, there's a lot. And we think us as adults that we all know, but even for adults working with other leaders, I could see where etiquette is needed all around. And I do know. And I'll tell you where this started, Daniel.
So
because
go
my
ahead.
daughter started interviewing and she got some, and that was great. She did the interview, she got excited, and then there was no follow up. And I thought to myself, my gosh, not only are they not following up, but aren't they missing a chance to build a fan? So my daughter, when she looks at a restaurant and she interviewed at that restaurant and they did not let her know that she did not get the job, they just ghosted her. That's not the restaurant she wants to go to when I ask her, where would you like to eat?
Mm-hmm.
So, in my mind, if you want to really build a fan, then build that fan in the best way that you can. Say, I'm sorry, we chose someone else, but here's $1 off, here's a 50 cents off fries, whatever you decide to do, but at least let them know. And that made me realize, oh no, as someone that's hiring and you're not doing that, what does your rest of your leadership go? Oh, I got my new book up too. It's not my secret to share. We'll have to talk about that. But that is the
Mm-hmm.
whole idea and the premise around manner shift. Their workplace scenarios. We want our young professionals to not only enter the workforce, we want them to be prepared so that they can grab all of those wonderful, wonderful. Oh my God, the name just escaped me. Oh, sorry, Daniel, but we want them
No
to be able
worries.
to grow in their position.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So tell us, Miss Adrienne, your book that called Unscripted Brilliance, the Padmas edition. What is all about?
Okay, so Unscripted Brilliance is this book right here. It is an anthology. I have a podcast like you do, and I
Mm-hmm.
interview my guests like you do, and then I used podtobook.ai, PODTO book.ai, to turn those interviews in a wonderful manuscript. It's a narrative that all my guests love. And so that is this one right here is the Podmatch edition. There's a company called
Mm-hmm.
Podmatch where you match guests and podcasts. Amazing. Are you using Podmatch?
Yes.
Yep. So this is a Podmatch edition. Alex wrote the foreword, and he's in the book. Obviously, I interviewed him. So that is this book right here. And I'm doing a couple of other ones coming up too because the idea is so great. I'm building community. I'm able to promote Podmatch, and I'm able to promote every single person in the book. And there's always going to be like a Summer Woods. Summer Woods is out of Pasadena, California, and she gets to be
Mm-hmm.
in the book at no charge. So it's also a gift I can do for some of my guests that maybe can't afford to be in the book. I'm able to give them a chapter in the book as a gift. So I love that too.
That's be awesome. So how about the secret, Miss
Okay, so
Adrienne?
this book, if you scroll down, I actually this cover is going out. This book is actually going off edition. So see the new one right there. It's not no go up a little bit. Up nope, a little, yeah, that one right there with the kids. I've got this one right here, and I've got a new one that'll populate in a couple hours. Okay, so Daniel, I grew up
Yeah.
in a family business.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, starting when I was 13, and I was told that my sister was a lesbian, and I went and I didn't know like the secret and what I was supposed to do with it. And I went to school and I shared it because I didn't know better. And that led to a lot of bullying. That was not great. And then I just found that, in the workplace and boards and committees, so many people were giving secrets, and some of them I accepted. I said, okay, and I listened, and then it felt like a burden. Some of them were a consequence, like, oh my gosh, I have your burden now. I've just shared it. So I had so many nights of like not able to sleep because either I was worried that someone would share the secret I gave them, or that I would get in trouble for sharing someone else's secret. And there was nothing out there, nobody I could talk to when I was younger. So I thought, I'm going to get this book and I'm going to build it for when I, older. But then I realized that my book really should be in the hands of like elementary school and middle school. So then what I did research, and I'm like, oh wow, Daniel, there's all kinds of books in that age group of, personal secrets that people have gone through and they've shared. This is not anybody's personal secrets. These are short stories of secrets that kids can relate to, and then a workbook after, like a worksheet, so they can ask some questions and kind of figure out, so that maybe they will be empowered to say, you know what? please, I don't really want your secret. It's okay. And there's some people that cannot keep a secret for the life of them. They should say, no, thank you. And also, do I share a secret? So I think it's to me, it's a huge impact. There is no book like It's Not My Secret to Share in the industry for middle school and elementary. I have a teen edition coming out that I just Kindle just approved. And it's a book I wrote to myself for being younger, but I think it's a book that we need to really get out. Kids really need to know. It's not my secret to share. And that title was because someone told me a secret and asked me not to share it. And I said out loud, it's not my secret to share. And then I was like, that's the name of a book.
Hmm. It's a name of. Congratulations, Miss Adrienne. How about the Manor Chef?
Manner
Manor
Shift is
Chef.
the course. So Manner Shift is the book, and then I have a course, and I'm looking. That Manner Shift one is not my. I have a teen one too. So I have a Manner Shift for adults, and then I have it for teens. Because even with adults, we all ask the questions. Do you stand up when you meet someone? Well, actually, you
Mm,
should. But
yes.
it's not your dinner it's not your dinner manners. These are really the shift in manners in the new age and what that looks like. Daniel, if you told me that you had a sore throat, do I immediately need to give you advice? Do I absolutely have to tell you have to have honey and tea and you should be making this mixture? Or do I ask you how you're feeling? And, is there anything I could do to help you? So it's like the everyday situations too, which I love. Everyday etiquette is something that matters to me.
Get etiquette indeed, because nowadays most of the people don't have etiquette.
Right.
So, Miss Adrienne, why might an employee today feel less trusting of a leader who strictly adheres for formal protocols than who shows moments of vulnerability?
First of all, I want to say you can be a leader that someone will remember. If you're working with someone who's 22, I think like when they're 42, well, they go back and they'll say, Adrienne was the most amazing leader and mentor, and she taught me so much. Or I've learned everything on what not to do working with Adrienne, right? There's always two ways because I've had great leaders and I have had not great leaders. And I worked for a nonprofit, and the leader that I had there was an example of everything that I would never do, right? I would never ask an assistant to come into my office and pull a file from behind me because I was too lazy to turn around. So I think it's just understanding. So Manner Shift gives you these scenarios to understand what to do. For instance, you have to text your leader. So you're going to text your manager. Do you actually take your text and do you just say, hi, I won't be in tomorrow? Or do you send a really good reason? Also, how do you actually handle texting that leader? And you should say, hi, it's Sue. I work in this department and I want to let you know I am off tomorrow. So it's really important to have the right kind of conversation.
Certainly, the right conversation and the right way. In what ways has professionalism been historically used as a tool of control rather than a tool of connection?
Wow, that's a great question. I love that question. Well, we do have leaders that control you. We have leaders that may say to you that you have to work, a certain amount of hours. They may not be empathetic to, time that you may need off or time during that day that you may need to make important phone call. So I think that the tools are really reminding us as leaders how we actually manage our young professionals that are coming into the workplace. And number one, to understand that you're going to be a mentor. You really want to show them how to do things the correct way. And what is that correct way? And that's really the question, right? So if you're going to be asking them for feedback, or are you going to teach them how to delegate? If a leader doesn't know how to delegate, you're probably not going to teach that young professional how to delegate. So it's really considering the minute you leave your house, making sure that you're showing the correct manners, the correct attitude, the correct communication, all of that.
Certainly, you totally agree with you, Miss Adrienne. And how does the shift from conformity to authentic adaptability change the way evaluate candidates during a job interview?
Well, that's the problem right now because a lot of times the young professionals feel like I need to be authentic. I need to be myself. Yo, if I talk like this and I
Yes.
call him dude or bro, that's what I do. Why do I need to change? And if I
Hmm.
want to wear a hoodie and jeans, like I don't understand. Why do I, aren't I supposed to be able to wear that? And I don't want that fancy language. I'm just going to share. They hired me and I'm just going to be me. That's what they should want. And that may not be the case. And that's where the problem is that it's where that authentic is and actually correct behavior. So where is that? It's a fine line, but you've got to find it. You've got to find it. You know, one of the things I found, I raised three boys, 42, 36, and 30, going to be 31. And I remember when they first got their first position, they were like, they love me. They think I'm amazing. They can't do anything without me. They need me. I was like, no, don't think that at all. You know, my parents always said, you're very indispensable, right? We work for someone. It's
Hmm.
easy enough for them to find someone else unless you're really in a trade. But either way, don't start thinking that way because that ego is not good. And so just understanding, even just getting your mindset correctly, that you're in a place of work, you're not to be on your phone, you're going to read the employee handbook, you're going to follow that rules, you're not going to share anything on social media you're not supposed to share. That's your first step in understanding. You've got a guidebook. And then for the things that you're not familiar with, if you're put into meeting space, if you're running a meeting, whatever that looks like, you may want some support. Manner Shift, the course is only $19, so it's not like something that you can't afford. And I include the ebook so that you have the book too, but it allows you to go through those scenarios and figure out, okay, this is really like what I want to learn. The book is 15 programs, and then in that are 15 scenarios. So we touch everything from texting and emails to calling in late to, when you pop up and give your thought and your advice, how to share it, how to share thoughtful feedback. All of that is included.
Hmm. Thank you for including all those, Miss Adrienne. It's a bonus for us. Can someone to be professional? If so, how might that hinder the ability to build genuine relationship at work?
Exactly. Wait, was that a question?
Yes, is it how?
Oh,
How
how
can be
how
building how to build a genuine relationship at work if you are too professional?
David Meltzer, who I absolutely love, says, be more interested than interesting. One of my favorite
Mm,
quotes. Okay.
yes,
Don't do what sometimes I did when I was younger, throw up on someone. Don't tell everybody everything. Listen to
true.
what is being told of you. Follow up. And email etiquette is so important. If you're receiving an email and you're like, I'll get it to it tomorrow. I'll get to it later today, and then later today comes and you'll get to it tomorrow. First of all, it's no fun like in the middle of the night thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't send that email, because that really bothers me. And we're all human, but even if you don't have the answers, sending a quick email back saying, I'm sorry, I'm definitely going to work on this, and here's the information. Daniel, another thing is learning at a young professional age how to admit that you're wrong goes a long way. I worked with a department one
Mm,
time where it was like from the top, we are never ever wrong. We don't make mistakes. And that's crazy. We all are human. We make mistakes. Just admit your mistake. I admitted a mistake this morning.
hmm.
And fix your mistake. You make a mistake, you admit it, and then you work on solving it and fixing it. It is just understanding all of that. Check your ego at the door. Be willing to learn, be willing to listen, focus when you need to focus. All of that is so important. And it's not just for young professionals. Believe me, I do feel like us adults, we need it too.
Yes, most of people, their ego is bigger than their head. So, Miss Adrian, according to the concept of manner shift, what is the specific behavior must a modern leader unlearn from the past to be effective today?
I think that again, it goes down to communication. And if you've had and enjoyed a great leader in your work life, you understand what that really looks like. Someone communicating with you where you understand exactly what that need is, or that you feel comfortable asking them questions on, you sent me this work that you need done. Can I ask you a couple things? Exactly should I do? Giving them deadlines and guidelines, all of that is so important. So I think that if you're going to grow a good leader, you want to be a good leader yourself, and you want to communicate effectively and efficiently. And of course, that will also help your profits, right? At the end of the
Mm,
day, if you're a restaurant and you are leading your team, they are going to smile when a customer comes in. They're going to take care of them. They will provide unreasonable hospitality. Get the book, you'll know what I'm talking about. Amazing book. All of that is so important. So I always say, be the leader you want to be. The leader you see in the best leaders, right? The
right.
saying, Ella Green says, if you let me take a little sip of coffee for a second. Hold on, everyone. We'll skip that because that just I must be a little tired this morning, so I apologize.
No worries at all. No worries at all, Miss Adrienne. In a world where rigidly is a liability, how can a leader balance the need for consistent process with the need in a need for adaptability?
I think, first of all, I love that adaptability, authenticity that shows from the top how you're going to be. Processes are important. And if you have business processes, that we're really talking about like a business SOP, I following it yourself. I have seen too many leaders that don't understand what they're sharing. They're trying to lead you in something that they've never gone through. That is really tough to do. And that makes for the communication problems that you will have. So if you want to have the adaptability, first of all, be adaptable yourself. Also, be adaptable during your interview. Start before your employee even comes in the door. There's so many different people that learn different ways, that interview differently. You may miss out on someone because you missed something, or they came in to the interview and they were really nervous. So make sure you learn how to interview correctly too, so that hopefully soon to be employee can be comfortable and shine in front of you. It's all about making people shine, which kind of goes under my umbrella of taking leaders and making them shine. Leaders, make your employees shine, make the workplace adaptable for them too. Understanding that with the new generation, we have very divergent brains, and everyone's different, and explaining to them, I don't do well if you just throw me a video and say, listen to this video and then do this or that. So I'm going to ask you for a different way to actually teach me what I need to know.
Mm, yes. Certainly, yes, indeed. So, Miss Adrienne, to wrap up our discussion for today, why is pushing trust to a mirror role in favor of control a dangerous strategy for relating top talent in 2026 and beyond?
Wait, just go the beginning of it, please. I'm so sorry.
Yes, no worries. Why is pushing trust to a minor role in favor of control dangerous strategy for retaining top talent in 2026 and beyond?
So this is the year of trust, isn't it? Building trust and credibility for leaders,
Hmm.
for businesses. It really is. First of all, with AI, in one
Yes.
second, someone could create a news feature that features you or your business, and who knows what they're going to say. So people want to know, like, and trust. That was something that was started a few years ago and always made sense to me growing up in a family business, right? You want to know me, you want to like me, and then you will trust me. But it's never been more important than 2026 with this new AI and what is taking place. So share smart content, be there for people, let people see your personality. Showcase it in everything you do. You can't just say you are one way and then act another way. You know what? Be exactly who you are. Be authentic. And on LinkedIn, don't just push all these crazy messages out and think you're going to just sell to people when they don't even know you. Stop stop marrying people, date them, get to know them. This whole idea that, one call you're going to think that I'm going to buy from you is crazy. So that's my response.
Certainly, very well said, Miss Adrienne, and beautifully articulated. So, one more question. Can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
I am currently reading Limitless, Jim Quick for the brain, and I would definitely say pick that up. I got a chance to hear Jim Quick at Creative Con, and wow. That's all I'm
Nice
going to
one.
say. Great book, great videos.
Mhm. Yes, thank you for that recommended book, Miss Adrienne. And so can you please invite our listeners to support your books, your advocacy, your business, or wherever projects that you're doing right now, as well as your podcast?
I love that. I give people my phone number because that's what I do. 386-631-4577. If you grab that and you want to text me, you have to let me know who you are. If you just invite
Yes.
me out to dinner, I will block you because I don't know who you are. My name, adriennebarker.com. If you have a great name, get your website with your name. I think that's important. I have two sites, adriennebarker.com, professionalglobaletiquette.com. I have a podcast, Adrienne Barker Speaks, no prep needed. I have a variety of other things that I do too. And I would love to have you. You can find me on LinkedIn, Adrienne Barker, MAS, which stands for Masters of Advertising Specialties, which actually represents 2% of the promotional products industry, which I'm very proud of. And I obviously have my author page. And if you're interested in my speaking to your class or your organization, I am available. I do LinkedIn workshops. I do brand authority workshops, and I have a workshop coming up for Manner Shift to teach and explain about the course. And we'll share some course related information in that workshop.
Miss Adrienne, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Monica, people, see you